Hey guys, Natalia Schneimler here. I help boy moms have a better relationship with their sons and themselves by teaching them the tools how to manage their mind so that when anything comes up in life, they know exactly how to take care of themselves and their kids.
Hey guys, how's it going? I have a bit of a weird cold here, so bear with me with this voice for a second. But I wanted to chat with you guys and tell you about my recent discovery and acceptance of my weaknesses, or basically one of my weaknesses. And I wanted to share with you the other side of that. And I'm sure you've all heard, I feel like I've heard from a lot of mentors that accepting our own weaknesses can become our strength, right? It can be very helpful, and then you know what you're working with, right? So accepting them and working with them and just making peace with your weaknesses can help you manage yourself and work in situations and just know what to expect. So I've known this for a long time, but this is kind of the first time that I've experienced finally accepting one of my weaknesses. And I wish that I was on the lookout for that sooner. So I wanted to pose some questions for you that I wish that I had thought about earlier to help me get there sooner, because just being at peace with one of the weaknesses feels amazing. It just feels totally fine, as opposed to all these years before where I was judging myself for it, which felt totally terrible. And I was trying to reverse, was putting myself in situations that were exposing my weakness. And I'm just talking about with the kids. Last summer, I had my 4 kids at home a lot with me, which meant that I had to do some activities with them or be home with them or whatever. I was like the camp leader. And by the end of the summer, I was not doing so well. Mentally, I was exhausted. I was not thriving. I was not doing well. I was going crazy. And this summer, I learned and I decided to try something else, and I decided to put them in more camps. And I did, and I think it was the best decision I've ever made, because it just helped me solidify that, okay, I'm doing better this way, and it's not my strength to take care of 4 boys all day, every day for like 10 weeks straight. So that now on the other side of it, now that I'm kind of accepted it, it feels like the truth. It feels there's no judgment about it. This is just how it is. Whereas before, I was constantly judging myself for it, like last summer and all these years before, where I was imagining these perfect romantic days with my boys where we're spending the best time together. And sure, we had great moments half of the time, but I was not that was not my strength. I was not thriving in it. I felt like I was sinking in it. And so, but putting judgment on top of that was making it even worse, right? Like now I do have days with my boys at home, like yesterday and today, but I'm actually just aware of my own capability, and I'm not judging myself for it. I'm just planning around it. And I'm planning it with specific expectations. I'm not expecting these awesome, beautiful days, and I'm not expecting myself to react differently. So I wanted to kind of share this with you so that you can start questioning yourself and ask yourself, what am I expecting myself to be great at? And I'm just not being great at. And just start scanning your life for that, or like put it on your radar. Like, what is it that I would love to be doing myself in my life that I'm not, but I want to be, but I'm not, but I want to be. And you're kind of stuck in that loop in your cycle. And what would you like to let go of? Like, what would be that expectation? And this is what I'm now realizing from my experience. It might be different for different people, is that it could take years to accept your own weakness, or I call it weakness because it's just in my eyes, it's a weakness, right? For some people, it could be this is just how everyone, they just expect that's how anyone would react in that situation. But anyway, it's just from my own perspective, right? Whatever you perceive to be the weakness is the weakness. It's not actually a weakness. It's just your own perception of it. And so, I mean, I heard of this mom of a coworker of my husband's. She has 4 kids as well, just like I do, but she took them to in a trailer, like a motorhome trailer, around U.S. all summer long, exploring, U.S. and Canada on her own with 4 kids in a trailer all summer long, one summer, which already made my jaw drop because I would just be so stressed, especially being on my own with 4 kids and in a trailer and traveling. Like, that's super stressful. And then that worked out so well for her. The next summer, she decided to go backpacking on her own with 4 kids in Europe. That made my jaw drop again. So that made me realize, you know what? I would love to be that person that does that. And yeah, you still have struggle, but you enjoy it, right? This is where you thrive. You know how to handle situations. You know how to handle the kids all the time. And I just realized I'm just not that person. That's not me. And I am the person to sign up the kids for camps and let them do sports all summer and kind of be with them less than more. And so I wanted to share this with you because I think if we just put it on our radar, like kind of put it back in my mind, like, oh, what are my weaknesses and what can I make peace with? Then I do truly believe this, that our brain goes to work to doing that, to finding them, number one, and to number two, making peace with them. So one day, a year from now, 2 years from now, you might wake up and be like, oh, I know what my weaknesses are, and I feel totally fine with them. If you are judging yourself, some people, I know a lot of people have made peace with their weaknesses, or one of them, and I'm sure we all have some weaknesses we've made peace with already and are fine with it. But what are some other things that you are expecting yourself to be great at, but you're not? That's what I want us to really to look towards, to doing, so that we can feel great. And I realized that having a chat with my brother-in-law, I was driving him to the airport, and I was just telling him about it. I said, I'm just not great at that. And I felt so at peace with that. I felt no shame. And I was just kind of stating a fact, and like, not like it was great or bad. It was just the way it was. And he said, well, that's half of the battle, right? Just admitting that makes things a lot easier. And I agree. I mean, it makes things I don't think even half easier. It makes them twice as easier or more easy, because then you don't have unrealistic expectations. And you are not shaming yourself for not really thriving. So that's what I have for you guys today. Enjoy my beautiful voice of weird cold thing, but I feel fine otherwise. And I love you all so much. Have a great summer. And if you are great at being with your kids all the time, that's awesome. Enjoy it. So if you're not, then you're in the club with me. That's totally fine. So maybe like play around with the ratio, right? Maybe if you can, outsource some help. All right, guys. Of course, if you need help anytime with your relationships, and most of all, your relationship with yourself, I'm always here for you. I would love to help you, chat with you, tell me what's bothering you, and I will be there. I love you all. Have a great week. Oh, go to my website, www.coachingnatalia.com, and go to sign up for a free mini session, and I'll see you in Zoom. Bye.